Hi everyone, this is Sophie from SP Film Viewers.
Hello, and I'm Paul. To celebrate our upcoming 100th episode, and in the spirit of giving for the festive season, we wanted to do something charitable that is dear to our hearts.
We are going to make a donation to the Alzheimer's Society, as we have both experienced this within our families. And with all that's been going on the last couple of years, it's become much harder for people living with dementia to have the support and care they need, especially during the holidays.
So, we'll be donating £75 right off the bat to the cause, and if you'd like to make a donation yourself, you can visit the website or via the link in the show notes.
But there is another way we can help raise a little more money, and this is where you, the listener, can really help us out.
As you know, we're on the road to reaching 100 episodes, but we're also on our way to reaching 10,000 downloads. So, if we are able to reach that goal of 10,000 episode downloads by the end of the year, we will donate an additional £100 to this charity.
So all you've got to do is go and have a listen to all our episodes, yes, all of them, from the archives. They are on all major podcast platforms. We cover a whole variety of different film genres, so there'll surely be something for everyone.
The more episodes you download, the more increased exposure we get of our little film review podcast, as well as providing additional funds to help towards the Alzheimer's Society. So win-win on both sides.
Also, got some Christmas themed movies reviews coming up in December, just to make it even more exciting.
I'm sure you're very happy about that, aren't you?
I'm extremely ecstatic about it, and I'm extremely happy that we are giving at Christmas to a really worthy cause, and I know a lot of people will think the same for this charity. I am so excited for Christmas. I feel like we are doing our good deed as well. I think it's lovely to be able to give back to people if you can.
Absolutely, yeah. So we look out for those upcoming episodes, and as I said, be sure to check out all our previous episodes if you haven't listened already, or re-listen again, whatever you want to do, how you want to do it.
Even just listen to it in the background, even if it's something you've already heard, just to get us to that 10,000 downloads, because that £100 to the Alzheimer's Society will do wonders for them. It really will. So even if it is something you've already heard and you're like, oh, I don't want to listen to it again, just put it on in the background. It's not going to harm anyone, is it?
But it'll mean a great deal to us, and I'm sure it'll mean a great deal to the Alzheimer's Society.
It will.
Alright, bye for now.
Thank you in advance. Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Is a snow dad better than no dad?
Depends on who your dad is. Be a bit messy though, wouldn't it? To be puddling everywhere.
Depends where you live.
Well, to be fair, right now, outside is a winter wonderland, isn't it?
Yeah, at the time of recording, it's
Snowing.
pretty white outside, yeah.
What is going on? I've never seen snow in November.
It's creeping into December though, isn't it really? So
Clutching on to November though. So weird. But yeah, hello everybody by the way, and welcome to our Christmas special, which I am so happy about.
there's not so much a Christmas special as just reviewing
Christmas.
starting reviewing Christmas films.
Reviewing
for
Christmas
December.
films. Do you know, can we change our podcast now? Next year. How does everyone feel about this? Just doing Christmas films all year round. You're up for that, aren't you, Paul?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'd be sick of it.
No, you wouldn't. You love it. And then we'll do so that means we skip Halloween.
Well, it might be anyway. I don't know with how things are going.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a big event around that time, isn't there?
Oh, there is. I wonder what that might be. He might actually get to marry him.
Anyway, we are going to be talking about a Christmas film that I was surprised to learn that Sophie hadn't actually seen. This came about from when we were talking to film vloggers the other week
Yeah.
about what things they were covering from their episodes, and
Because they are actually, they started Christmas early, which you won't let me do.
for their Vlogmas 12 days of Vlogmas.
That sounds amazing. So the film is
Jack Frost. and not the scary, well, I'll say scary, comedy horror film. This is the 1998 one, fantasy family film.
Like a Christmas film. Why would anything be scary in a Christmas film? I don't even want to see the other. If you saying scary in quotations marks, that means it's going to scare me.
No, it's really not. It's very laughable.
Nah.
Yeah, it's. But that came out a year before.
And I keep thinking we're seeing Frosty the Snowman. What is that? What?
Frosty the Snowman, as far as I know, was obviously a song, but there was like an American cartoon. I don't know how long the cartoon was like in length, but it is like a popular thing that obviously play at Christmas time.
Because I straight away was like, free Frosty, and then that's off.
Isn't that from Christmas and the Cranks?
Yes, it is. Because they don't put Frosty on the roof and all of that.
I can't wait to see this for the 100th episode.
You're going to be so mean, and I don't know if I can handle it. I don't think I can. You just have to bring a bit of Christmas spirit to that, okay?
Bit of grimace, yeah.
No.
But would you really say this was like properly a Christmas film? Does it give you the Christmas feels about it? Because I haven't seen this film. I saw it a couple of times when I was younger, a lot younger. I haven't really seen it since then. Although I did something still kind of stuck out in memory before scenes started playing out. Like, oh yeah, I can remember this happening or this being said or that kind of thing. But so it's sort of stuck with me a little bit. But I remember even back then, I was thinking this is a bit corny and
and I think that's why
schmaltzy.
I would say it is a bit Christmassy filmy, just because it has that kind of corniness to it. I'm thinking, cheerful and all of that kind of vibe. It gives you a little bit of a tearjerker, a little bit of the feels of kind of like value of family, and there's always like a lesson learned with a Christmas film of you need to be kind and nice and all of that. So it does have that element to it, if you were kind of saying this is what a Christmas film recipe would be.
Yeah.
How Christmassy it is, though, apart from it snowing and a couple of Christmas lights.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not nodded to Christmas as such. Like the big day is not around the corner.
No, although what occurs happens around the holiday period.
Yeah,
so.
It doesn't make you feel like that, though, until they're like, it's Christmas Day. And you're like, oh, is it?
Yeah.
For all you know, it could have been early December this could have happened and you wouldn't have... It didn't feel like they were getting ready for Christmas.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I don't know if they were trying to do that because obviously it was like the year when obviously he'd passed away, kind of a year's time again, where it's like around that point when you've lost somebody and it all comes back again. Mm-hmm. So do they want to do Christmas because they've lost somebody?
Yeah. So the main point of the story is the dad...
He's an asswipe,
Jack
isn't
Frost. Which is kind of like, oh god, that's something a bit on the nose, isn't it? Really, with that as the thing, and then what he becomes. He's in a travelling band basically, and he's like, this is a big break for the family and everything. And he's kind of like, he already doesn't spend a lot of time with his family, but that's
don't have a child if you're not going to spend time with them. Like, that is 100%.
This is always the way with rock stars and
don't have one.
Actors
you can't be there.
And stuff. Obviously, you've got busy schedules, and you can't always adhere to being there all the time. So this kid Charlie is in the hockey team.
He's a perfect child, isn't he? He's getting A's, A-star student. He sticks up to the bullies at school. He's like the perfect child.
Mm-hmm. And you said when you saw those little kids and everything, it's like, how 90s, late 90s, it's like,
I didn't actually even know, you didn't tell me when we came into this film
what year it was. But
it would be made, and I straight away was like, is this the 90s? And I got so excited because I'm a 90s baby. So anything that is in the 90s, well, it's... I don't know. I don't know if everyone feels that way. Like, it's a bit of nostalgia and they want to go back to the 90s or whenever they're born. I feel like life was a lot simpler in the 90s.
I guess so, but it's just
simpler
just
times.
Very obvious with this. With the...
No, but I just mean, like, you won't... I don't think there was as... Which is not a bad thing. We're more aware of things nowadays. Like back in the 90s, you weren't didn't have a phone constantly.
No.
Computers were only kind of roughly coming to light. Internet was not reliable. And I think it was simpler times in that aspect. And I think that's how this film is portrayed.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're getting, yeah.
So you've got Charlie's mum as well. I don't actually know if I've got her name down.
What was she called now? Something with G, I know that. Christ. I can't remember what her name was. I know it's the actress is Kelly Preston. And it's like, was she? Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, she was John Travolta's wife who like passed away like a year or so ago.
Oh, he was devastated, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Bless him. I do like a good John Travolta film.
Like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. And
see previous episode.
Very well done there, Paul. I'm trying to think of the other John Travolta film that I've seen. Grease, there we go. God, bloody hell, that was hard work. So yeah, she's actually quite a good kind of leading lady, I'd say. I do feel she's very, very pretty for this role.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if would John Travolta want to watch this film. So at least he's got something of his wife. But then it's like, well, she's kissing another man. I don't know if I'd want that or not. Yeah,
and on the subject of that, some of those earlier scenes anyway seem to go on for a long time. Kind of like all like schmaltzy and like all like are the kids really interested in watching the parents like, oh, let's get into bed and make out and
this like a little bit like that because I asked you what rating it was because I'm like, isn't this like meant to be child friendly?
Yes.
Or does it just go over a child's head sometimes when you're a bit younger? You don't realise.
Probably, but even so, it's just like, where's the snowman that I'm kind of promised that's on the cover or whatever?
That is true.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit awkward. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a bit.
And I'm, you know.
Not like there wasn't like explicit or anything, but it's kind of just a bit like, yeah, this is the pacing on this is a bit nah, really, and it
gets good to the middle when he becomes a snowman. He's an arsewipe until he's a snowman.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember seeing Michael Keaton in? Well, you've seen him in the Spider-Man one. He was the Vulture in. What was it called? Was it?
Is that the young Spider-Man?
Homecoming. Yeah, the young one. Yeah, the more recent one. He was the Vulture in that.
Is he Birdman? No, he's not. Birdman.
He's Birdman.
Is he?
Yeah. He was a Birdman in 2 films. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I was going to say that. I was going to bring that up next, but I was wondering if you'd.
I was so proud of myself.
There you go. Well done.
Thanks. What do I get?
Pat on the head.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! I deserve a prize.
Yeah.
Next podcast. Now I need a treat. Like a dog eye.
Would you say you gave a better performance in that though? Wouldn't you say? I know you didn't really.
I think. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Oh, I'm putting my foot in it. I think I need to rewatch Birdman.
Maybe next birthday thing we might do that then.
Not mine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yours.
Pick or something. Yeah. At some point. Yeah. Revisit that because I'd like to see that again.
Because I wasn't where I am now with film critiquing.
Yeah. That was early stages.
It was early stages, and there was a lot of drum beating and boom, 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 and I was just like, I don't really know what this is.
Yeah.
And obviously, you just wanted to watch it because Emma Stone was in it. Clearly.
One of the reasons. Yeah.
Anything that she's in is fantastic, even if it isn't. Like Easy A's not that great.
No, it's not. It's some other mild comedy, but
teenage crappy thing.
House Bunny isn't that great either.
Don't know what that is.
That's with what's her face, Anna Faris. You know, the one from like Scary Movie.
Oh, well, it's going to be crap, isn't it? Clearly, she's my female Adam Sandler. I've decided. Uh-huh. Anything she's in, it's just like right off.
Yeah. So you would say that his what you remember of Birdman performance, you would think he would probably be doing a lot better job in.
Yeah, but he's still. This. I think even in Birdman, he's not a nice man, is he?
No, I don't think so.
He's a bit of a douchebag again. He seems to play the douchebag characters. Yeah. But still a sterling performance than this one.
Yeah.
He just seems really cool and...
Yeah, actually, everything's like not...
I think I prefer him as the snowman. Like, the snowman seems better acting than him.
Because there's limited motion or... in that respect, or
and I think he's not trying to be cool anymore. Then he's just being humble and a nice character at that point. But it's not forgivable for how he is Like, if you want, I feel like it's one of two things in life. You either want a child and you want a family and you want to settle down.
Yeah.
Or you want a career.
Yeah, it's hard to balance the two.
And if you do balance the two, you're always going to let one side down.
No.
You can't do everything. You're not Superwoman.
No. Although there was a point, obviously, before he has the crash that you don't really see much of or anything, but as you're not going to do, it's a kid's film. But when the mother is like, oh, well, maybe you could just play like a set for like 15 minutes, half an hour or something, and she's like trying to like work around it, and the kid's just like, no, take your harmonica back, I don't want it anymore. Type of
I don't
a bit
blame
of a
him though, to be fair. If your father's never there for you, then why try argue the toss about it, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where the only thing that upsets me for Charlie is he's had that strop that his dad's drove off and they haven't resolved it. You know what my problem is with that?
Yeah, never leave things on.
Even if I'm pissed off with you and we're going to sleep, I'm going to have to tell you I love you and kind of make up, even though you've probably pissed me off. Because I can't, what if you die in your sleep?
I'd say this in these circumstances probably fairly unlikely, but if I was like 80 or something, then maybe
you never know. You never know, do you? So it's like, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
I guess.
And regret it my entire life.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I think that's a bit where Charlie's at, because he's not made peace with his dad. And obviously, sadly, he does die in the car crash. Which, for some reason, I don't know where this story was going.
Really?
Yeah. So when he died, I was like, no, he dies. And you're like, well, yeah, how do you think he becomes the snowman? And I'm like, I didn't know his dad were going to be the snowman.
What did you think?
I don't know.
Did you think there was just going to be a random talking snowman?
I think so. I thought it was like the snowman. You build it, and then it came to life.
It's sort of what happens, because a year later he does that.
But I didn't think it was going to be his dad.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it was going to go then.
That scene when he's building the snowman, there was kind of, when I saw it years and years ago, I didn't know what the song was, but it's quite a good song anyway. The Landslide, which is Fleetwood Mac, or more specifically Stevie Nicks singing that song, which is kind of like a nice touching moment, I guess, for the thing.
What's the song?
Landslide.
Sing.
No, I'm not going to.
I can't remember it. It can't be that touching, can it? But then I'm really bad at song names as well. Would I know it if you sang it?
Yeah, if I played it, then you'd know, like, oh yeah, okay, it's that song. So there's that, but obviously that's meant to make you feel, because he's like, always, like building the snowman, and it's the music that's kind of
Plinky plonky.
Well, it's not plinky, but it's not piano. It's like just an acoustic guitar thing. It's
quite. I do get the feels, and I did well within this film. You're just a cold, stone-hearted man that's like, you try and make me cry. Go on. And then
I don't remember crying when I was little when I saw it. So
I don't know. It was more the fact of you've lost somebody, I think. And I could see it from 2 points of view for me. So I could see it as being a child and losing a parent.
Yeah, I get that.
But then I saw it as being his wife and losing you as well. So it was like two elements for me that I could fit in either shoe.
Yeah.
And I don't like the thought of either. So it was like, I think that's what kind of, I put myself in these situations and thinking, how would I feel if that had happened?
But what did you think of the snowman design in itself anyway, and when it came to life and everything, and how it looked?
His eyebrows were a bit creepy.
Well, funnily enough, I did a bit of research on this, and when you saw the credits anyway, you pointed out, I was like, oh, it's Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
Yeah, I pointed it out.
For the more like close-up live-action practical effects. So it was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, because of the way that looked a bit more believable than the CGI, because that looked a bit ropey.
But I was more fascinated, because when I was like, I wonder how that's shot, and I'm thinking, Sophie, why are you thinking like this? And it's like, oh, well, this is clearly Paul's fault. I would never normally think this.
Question such things, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I wonder how they've done that. And is it a puppet? Is it a man in a suit? Is it, like you said, obviously, clearly some CGI moments.
Oh, there definitely is. And
because obviously you need them, because how can you take your head off something?
Yeah, it's a very much contrast in terms of how the CGI plays out, because it's a lot slicker, faster, in the way it moves.
Like when
and
he was
stuff.
doing that ice hockey scene,
Yeah,
that
and
was
stuff.
clearly CGI, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it just didn't look as good.
No, it really didn't. But to my point of the fact that George Clooney was actually supposed to play the father.
I can't imagine George as a bad dad.
And funny enough, he turned this down to play in Batman and Robin, which was a pretty disastrous film in itself.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is this a well-renowned film?
Which Jack Frost?
Yeah. Because I hadn't seen it before. It's not like on my list of, you must watch Jack Frost at Christmas.
On other people's reviews, it's kind of like fairly positive, saying, it's really nice and everything. I don't really quite see it that way, to be fair. But I think the fact that it's not got it's only like on DVD or streaming services and got a Blu-ray.
Do you know, really, really made me realise the quality drop. Like, Paul obviously loves his 4Ks, loves his Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And I've just become accustomed to this lifestyle.
Yeah, high def style of life. Yeah.
And then you put this on and I'm thinking, this looks shit. I'm like, well, it's not very sharp, is it?
I know, yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. So the fact that they haven't released this in like a higher format...
That says something, doesn't it?
The fact, it's not got that much of a demand. It's like, no, we want
also,
a high quality version of this film. It's not high demand for it.
It's not, what's the word, criteria, is it? Or whatever.
It's not quite Criterion worthy, no, that's for sure. Or any, I mean, you can get some really questionable films on 4K now, and it's like, really? Is that just because it's easier to just roll that out?
Be one of those things where 4K just replaces Blu-ray anyways?
Eventually, yeah, it'll come to that point. So obviously, Blu-rays are still being produced for specialist.
Do you think DVDs are just going to vanish? They're going to be like the new
VHS?
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's still discs that work in the thing. They still work in Blu-ray players and 4K players. So
just making it affordable to different people.
Yeah, I guess. Whereas VHS, you can only play VHS tapes. Which is what I think I saw this on anyway. Certainly don't.
I've never seen this film in my entire life, but weirdly, I've seen The Creepy Snowman. What did you think of his eyebrows?
This creepy snowman. Yeah. It doesn't look particularly friendly, especially when there's certain shots where you see his eyes. They have like this glisten to them, but they don't look very friendly. It's kind of like
an evil glare.
So the snowman is actually based around George Clooney's face, but because he dropped out at like the last minute. So it's like, well, now we've got to just work with this puppet.
Now you said that, I can see Clooney in it.
Yeah, so it's not really based on... I don't know how you could really make a Michael Keaton snowman, but that's the thing around that. So it kind of looks more like, with the... I don't know, the mouth and everything. I think that's probably...
But who gives eyebrows to snowmen?
I think that's only really to give it more of an expression, isn't it, for the puppet? Because otherwise, it wouldn't... It doesn't look... particularly friendly. I don't know.
I think the eyebrows make it a little bit more
more humanistic, but in a bad way. Yeah.
Never knew eyebrows could be so creepy.
So it's an okay puppet, I guess, for what it is, but it's not. I don't know as to how, if this scared kids in a way. It's like, this isn't a particularly friendly looking snowman, because I know obviously when Charlie sees it, like, oh, Charlie, it's me, and everything. He's like, looks out the window and go, like, oh, look, what the hell is that? I guess you would, but even if it was a happy...
and came back as a snow woman...
Would you have the moulded snow boobs on, like you did in one shot, and he's like, nope, get rid of them.
Because to be fair, does he need a snow penis?
Don't know, depends how long he's staying around as a snowman.
Wants to multiply his population, is that what it is? But my argument is, what I was going to say is, would you believe I was a snow woman and that I was in that snow woman?
What did he try and do to convince
talk to him, didn't he? He said Charlie boy.
Yeah, so you'd have to do something. You can't. But he took an ages to say. He didn't say that before. He didn't say Charlie boy, did he? Just like, hey Charlie, it's me. Let me in or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm a snowman.
I don't know what I'd call you. I just thought of two things. Everyone was like, "I, dickhead," something like that. Stupid. Get here now. In my voice, or it'd be something endearing like sweetie. But then anyone could call you sweetie.
Yeah, that's true.
Poorly.
You'd have to, if I was to like question you about something, I don't know, like.
I know what I'd ask you.
Go.
What did I take in my suitcase when we went to Scotland?
Mountain Dew bottles.
Not just one though, was it? It's like a whole bottle of the suitcase. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know why you let me.
You had an addiction to it.
I think I did. It was really bad.
Well, thank God you've kicked it now.
Yeah, I've just got addiction to tea instead.
It's better. More affordable anyway.
Yeah, just stains your teeth.
What do you think, like, there's obviously, like, some proper, like, dad joke humour in this. Because, like, when he says, Charlie, this is before he dies and everything, goes to the game, he's like, but dad, oh, what did you call me, but dad?
Yeah.
Like, so, bye, but family, you're...
But
son or whatever. Oh, God, like, oh...
Yeah, it kind of goes to that level of humour at the beginning where it's just like a little bit of a cringe.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like Charlie. I feel like Charlie's more of an adult than Jack is. So, for example, when his dad's trying to have that conversation of, oh, you need to do something that you love and make it kind of your living, and then it's not like you working and all of that.
Yeah.
And then he calls his dad selfish and says, are all musicians flaky? And it's like, would a 12-year-old actually say that?
I know, yeah. Calling him out on such a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play to him, though. He's right. It just makes me worried that if we have children, like, we're not going to have enough time for them. It's like you have to make that time.
That's it. That's true.
But he should have established his career beforehand if that's what he wanted.
He clearly wasn't a good enough performer before then, because it's only now when he's, probably maybe in his 40s, maybe? I don't know. Would you say late 30s?
Late 30s, early 40s, yeah.
And you have that at the beginning where they're playing the blues version of Frosty the Snowman.
Well, I thought that's what we were watching initially, and I don't even know if that is a film.
What?
Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, we've been through this already.
But you didn't really clarify what it was.
A cartoon. Again, which I did explain before. Remember 5 minutes ago.
Goldfish. Boom, 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 boom.
And with the, what was it, one of those, what do you call them? Talent scouts was like, hey, listen to this, and like almost like from the Back to the Future thing. Do you remember that fresh sound you were looking for? Kind of doing that, and like, oh gosh, we're just trying to take that thing that was a good moment in that film and then just trying to mimic it poorly. That doesn't sound that good.
Even
Jesus.
To be fair, on that one, I do think though. I don't think I've actually seen The Snowman either.
Oh, really? The Raymond Briggs like cartoon.
Okay,
yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
All the way through?
No. I've seen Snowman with the Snow Dog.
Right, that was only like a fair few years back, but not as long ago as the original Snowman. So
I don't really think I've seen a lot of Snowman movies.
And you call yourself a Christmas fan?
I'm not a big fan of snow.
You are. You were always saying, like, do you want to build a snowman? And
I've only just started to like snow. You know my snow story. So you know that I don't really like snow that much. I like it if I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, so does everybody.
I used to always fall on my bottom. Always. I haven't seen you fall.
What, on ice?
In general.
No, there's been a couple of times when
I've never seen you fall over.
Slipped.
Nearly, I don't wish this upon you now. No. I really don't.
But like gone, whoa, like, almost like falling.
You've seen me fall over, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
Not just on ice, no. But I wasn't a big fan of the whole throwing snowballs thing, and there's a fair bit of this in this.
It's horrifying, isn't it? It's meant to be fun, but it's not. Like, I know when I was little, I used to be absolutely petrified of snowball fights. I had one once where somebody had compacted it so much, it was like an ice ball instead of a snowball.
Oh, yeah.
And they threw it at me and it hit me right in the face. And it was horrible. It felt like glass was...
Yeah.
That's how painful it was. And I'm not a big... Unless it's fluffy snow and it's not compacted too much.
Yeah.
Then it's fun.
But you're going to get these kids, especially when it's snowed at school, and then like, oh, let's pick up things, and God knows, like, you could have little pebbles in it and stuff like that, and you're just chucking around, and it could hit you in the eye or whatever. And I don't like the idea of it. Obviously, people are trying to do their hardest to hurt you as much as they can, just because they can. It's like, oh, it's a snowball fight, isn't it?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I used to hate snow at school, and I used to hate it even more. We had this hill that used to go down from the boys' toilets. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. They used to know it would be really icy. So in the morning, they would get cold water.
No, I don't think you mentioned this.
Chuck it on the floor, and it was always ground to where the science and the art porta cabins were that we used to. Yeah, we used to have porta cabins.
Oh, we did as well. That's cool.
Did you?
Yeah.
So, and they would make it so that was literally pure ice by the time that you had to walk down there, and they would slide down it. Fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like clinging on to the side thinking, I'm going to fall. And then there'd be snowballs at the same time as that. I'm absolutely hating every second.
I just want to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrifying. So straight away when I saw that snowball scene, just all that school memory just came flooding back to me. I was like, yeah, I hate it. But I wasn't brave enough like Charlie to be like, hey, you, stop doing that.
Well, I like how the dad gets involved when he's the snowman. It's like he starts like doing this wind turbine and things, starts throwing this like, how have you just started to learn how to use your powers in quotation marks? Like, starting doing this, like, what the hell? Is this kind of, oh, this is funny and charming?
You get annoyed, though, a little bit by that? I don't know, I did, because I'm like, Charlie didn't want to be roped in on that.
Oh, no, I did, yeah, as well. And
like,
more the fact of, like, what are you doing?
It's none of your business. You've died a year. You haven't been part of his life for the 12 years he was being on the planet, and now you decide to show up and be a dad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so annoying. It's like, just be a dad fully. You've been a dad for 12 years and you took it for granted. So, rocking up when there's a bully.
Yeah.
Now causing his life even more shit than he needs.
Yeah, exactly. This, what's it called? Rory Buck or something. Oh, gosh, what a name. And then he obviously got these spiky gelled hair, and he almost needed frosted tips on him just to make it even more 90s.
I loved the 90s feel, and it even had 90s music as well.
Because they're doing that snowboarding thing, and so, oh my god.
Do you have a gripe with the snowboarding thing?
Yeah.
So, they had a sleigh?
Like a sled, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Charlie and
Jack Frost, yeah.
Yeah.
And they split it in half.
Yeah.
So all the way through doing that scene, it's a sledge or a sleigh or whatever you want to call it. Then they split it in half. The snowman, Jack, his still looks like half of that sledge.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Charlie, at the end, looks like he's on a snowboard.
Mm.
It doesn't have that curly thing at the front. They've just completely forgot to put that in. They've thought, oh, that'll do, nobody will notice. But I noticed.
I wasn't paying that close attention to it, to be fair. But, God, if you did notice that it wasn't actually, or maybe just broken off, I don't know, but I was just more, I was more looking at that background they're on, and that scene looks very much in a studio. It's like a green screen.
There's a lot of studios.
And even the board itself looked very CG as well. I think it was more when Jack the Snowman was riding it as well. It was like, very cringe.
That's because Charlie actually had a snowboard. And then halfway through they thought, I can't be arsed CGIing that in now. I'll just give up. Well, sorry, maybe everyone else not noticed it, but I did. Because if it broke off, then you add it in the film, so people will know.
I don't think they were thinking that too much about it, to be honest. It's a kids' film, so no, whatever. It's stuck in out. It's a snowman riding on a thing like a cool, making quips and everything. Like, yeah, where you go, Dad? Like, you haven't been in my life for forever long, but then they're praising him, and then it's like suddenly, then he's like, next second flits and it's like, skeptical about it. So, make up your mind about like whether you're accepting him or not as your dad.
Well, he's 13 years old now, isn't he? He's clearly going to be going through mood swings. You've lost your dad. It's the worst age to kind of lose a parent, I think.
Well, any age is not great, but...
No, but obviously when you're a lot older, you've had him for a lot longer to kind of help you mould you and grow you. But I think it's one of those things like, obviously, the bully, Roy, what was his name?
Rory Buck.
he's never knew his dad. And I kind of said that is a little bit easier because you don't know what you had, so how can you miss it as much?
Yeah, I know they have to throw that bit in just because that had to come back later on in the film, didn't it? To make his redemption of the bully. So, I never get to see my old man. He's no fun to pick on because he's lost his dad. Well, that's very good of you.
Yeah. It's not great, is it, really,
No.
to be fair?
Jeez.
I do feel sorry for the mum in this all the way through, to be fair. I feel like she's the one that's trying to keep the family together when Jack's alive. Yeah. She does all the hard work with Charlie.
Yeah, and though his his best friend, who's an English actor, I forget his name, but he's...
Is he off Love Actually?
No, he's not the fat manager, if you're thinking of him. No.
Yeah.
No, he was...
I thought you knew him then.
I'm pretty sure he was in the first season of Game of Thrones. He was who Cersei was married to initially.
I do not remember.
He was in a few episodes.
Isn't she the mean one?
Yes.
That goes out with a brother?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But also he's in the full Monty as well.
I didn't see the full Monty. Why didn't you let me see that?
Maybe future, I don't know.
Young men. Can we see it for my birthday? I'd love to know what your scores are on that. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I kind of had to watch it for media studies back in the day.
But don't they get the dinglings out?
We didn't see all the way through.
Oh, here's a film. Right, everyone.
No, just...
It's like a sex ed.
But this friend of his dad's and the mother in this, it's like, it's trying to try and make a connection between, as if she's moved on within a year and he's kind of hanging around as if they're an item or something. But it's not clear.
I didn't get that. I didn't think that was it. I think it was more for example, if you passed away.
No, I think that's what they were trying to make it seem like, but it really didn't come across that way. It was
I think it's more like a friendship thing. They've got something in common. They've both lost somebody they really cared about.
Or maybe he was just trying to muscle in on you're single now.
Oh, I hope not. I didn't think of it that way. I just thought he was a nice guy. It's like you dying.
He wasn't trying to do any moves.
Friends just been kind of lingering in, You just think they're just there for moral support. That's what I thought it was.
There wasn't anything obvious in it where he was kind of looking that was coming across that way. Just wondering if you were thinking maybe that was coming. Yeah.
Not one bit. I didn't even think of it that way. But she has a hard time. She has to look after Charlie. Well, she was kind of doing that on her own anyway. So
yeah. So what's new there?
But she didn't have that kind of support, knowing he would be coming back at some point, kind of having that bit of relief.
Yeah.
She didn't get that anymore. And then obviously Charlie isn't doing as well at school now because his dad's passed away.
Yeah.
And he's quit hockey. He's kind of spiralling a little bit and he's not talking.
Yeah, he's quits the team or something, doesn't he, as well? So.
Have you ever played hockey?
No. I don't want to. It looks very dangerous.
I don't think of what the equivalent...
Because more people... Well, certainly ice hockey anyway. I'm no good on...
I think I played hockey.
Skates anyway, so there's no chance of be doing that.
It's horrible because they bash you with the sticks in your shins.
Yeah. Again, it's another excuse just to hit you. That's why I don't really like sports and stuff. It's just an excuse to just push you around, whatever, and get away with it somewhat.
Can tell Paul was the one when PE came.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. I don't want to be part of it. I was quite good at PE. I was quite good at it. I loved netball. I'd have been part of a netball team. But you would have not been on any team, I'm guessing.
No, if basketball, if I was to had to pick something.
Was you actually good at it?
No, but I probably talked about this in the Space Jam episode about
you're just more the most interested in.
Like the intro that looks really cool and interesting to play. Really.
Can you dribble?
No, never really had a court to practice in or anything like that, so I wouldn't really truly know. But
yeah, I have to go do that in the new year. I can shoot hoops.
Standing still or going do.
Well, no, in netball you can't do.
All right.
You have to chuck the balls.
No, not over a net though. Isn't that over a net for netball?
No, that's volleyball. No. Too many balls.
Anyway.
Oh, speaking of balls, there's a line in here.
Yeah, what was it, when balls are freezing, it's like, oh.
But he doesn't have any private areas.
That's the joke.
Oh, does he mean actually his snowballs?
Balls, yes.
Not his
Well
actual
done, Sophie.
balls.
That's what the thing is. A joke for the adults and a joke for the kids. But more the adults, because it's like, oh, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say, because obviously it's implying
I just thought you actually meant his balls.
His dangly bits.
That's what I just thought he meant, yeah. Didn't realise he meant his actual balls.
He's a snowman.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm slow, aren't I, today? It's all the Christmas fun and excitement.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got me going.
Well, he also makes a comment about like, oh, look after your mum and everything. It's like, well, that's a lot of pressure to put on a 12-year-old, isn't it? Even, well, I mean, he was pretty much doing that anyway, wasn't he, Charlie?
Really, because his dad's not there, is he? To be fair,
no.
But no, it is one of those pressures. I know, obviously, with me being kind of mum, being a single mum or parent, when my mum and dad split up. I did have that kind of, at a younger age, feeling like I have to protect her and look after her. So I kind of get it, even though some people haven't said that to me. You do kind of feel like you have to do that a little bit more as a child, which luckily you haven't had to experience because your mum and dad are still in love now.
Well, I feel like it's almost a rarity to have parents still together, and that's not
You're
saying
so lucky.
anything bad about people who have split up or anything. That's just
no. It makes life a lot easier if they are together.
Yeah.
It really does. If they're happily together, that's even better.
Yeah. Not just for the sake of for the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
But no, I do know how Charlie feels because he's probably thinking he has to look after her. It's hard because it's like, well, you don't know fully what that person's going through because you haven't experienced it yet. You're only young. So eventually Jack starts being a dad, teaches him the hockey.
The J shot, whatever it is, this thing he was trying to show him before he went off on the road or whatever. Which
then obviously makes Charlie think, oh, okay, I'm going to go back into hockey and what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. And obviously, I think he gains respect from his bully at this point because they actually win, don't they? The hockey competition. So his bully's a bit of like a rival.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see kind of that respect coming. Because actually, he beat him fair and square.
Yeah.
You can't really take that away from somebody. I think that kind of, then you see that interlinking then with the next bit, because obviously what happens when it gets warm?
Melts.
Snow melts. Snowman gone. Yeah. Where does his dad go?
Yeah.
Unless you put him in the fridge or freezer.
Yeah, because he was...
You could buy like a big freezer and just store him in there.
Think of the bill.
True, but
we'll get
better than no dad.
Get to that a bit later on anyway about that whole thing. But yeah, so like he didn't miss Charlie's game. He obviously had to get across the car parking lot, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, hot tarmac. So
it's like melting. I
just don't understand that. Like, how hot must it have got? Because is that like 1 minute it's snowing and the next it's like really warm that your tarmac's gonna melt you?
Yeah, but I think that's a means of having a timer to the whole situation. It's like, oh, I'm dying kind of things. Like, I haven't got much time. So it's like, oh, right, no, got to get you to somewhere colder. So the mountains.
Well, he does try and persuade his mum, but his mum thinks, bless her, that he's going stir crazy at this point.
Which I kind of get, because, earlier on he was carting his dad around on one of those little pull-along truck things.
And he's talking to a snowman.
Yeah, which... I get it's but like, but like this is your coping mechanism of the whole situation, which
kind of like made an imaginary friend, but it's a snowman that he can physically see. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah. Although the coach, what's he called?
I forgot his name.
Sid or something. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
And he was like traumatized by seeing him in the thing. It's like reversing all the way back down the street just because he saw this talking.
He still didn't want to talk about it when he joined the team.
Proper shook about it. Yeah.
Wouldn't you be though? Like if a snowman did speak to you, I just think it'd be amazing. I'd love it, but I don't think you'd take too well to it. I'd be like, "Hi, Mr. Snowman."
Potentially easily destroyed. Just
kick it.
Yeah, kick it.
But he can just always mould himself back together, as you've seen with the fact that he got bulldozed into loads of snow.
And
It was still a ball form.
It was a moment where he got like a cartoon like squashed, and then he just went through another snow drift or whatever, and then suddenly he's back to the exact shape he was before. He wasn't like any wider or anything like that. He wasn't massive. He was just the right size. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought he might have been a bit thinner after that, because he did go thin, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're going to be clever and make him thinner, but I'm thinking, well, that's now knowing what we know, which we didn't, is that obviously they'd have had to create another puppet for that.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't have that in the budget.
No, I don't really think that they did. They're like, just take what you got with this. You've got to stick with it. But the whole, like, getting him to the mountains and everything, to the cabin where they were supposed to have the family Christmas or whatever that year before.
I'd love a Christmas in a family cabin like that.
It'd be nice. If you had all the turkey and everything, I presume. All
the
gubbins, not just going somewhere completely random like Iceland or something. Without anything. You'd want that experience. You wouldn't just...
I'd love to go to Iceland. Not the food. Not the food store.
We're only a short walk away.
And you were going to say that. People can't see it, but I'm giving you a stern look. The silence must say everything.
But this point, obviously, the bully comes back and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to get you for that snowball fight."
Yeah, beating me hockey and all of that.
So with that, it's kind of like, this is the point where it's like, oh, you got to help my dad out. He's melting, can't you see? And it's like, oh, wouldn't you help your dad or something like that? You didn't even have one. It's like, yeah, you're right. That's his little redemption arc, like I say.
Yeah, I'll help you. I understand how you feel.
Get him on the truck. They take him all the way to the cabin. But I don't know as to why. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong, in the mountains, it's still pretty cold up there, and there's probably snow all year round at the very top of the thing. Why couldn't he stay as a snowman up there and just visit them?
It's one of those things, isn't it, where Charlie needed his dad to come back. Charlie's now
closure.
Grown, developed, and it's time now for Charlie to live his life without his dad, but he needed that closure. I think that's what it is. Because I feel so sorry for the mum. Her husband's died. She only realises, and I don't think she gets an I love you off him.
No, that's what I was saying, like, what the hell?
It's she gets, hi, bye. That's it. And it's like, really? That you were in love, weren't you? You had a child together.
She gets more time with a goodbye with Charlie than does his wife.
Yeah.
Really. He obviously turns back momentarily into Michael Keaton's form.
But not for long.
Yeah, sing me the song or whatever. She said. And that was obviously played at the beginning, obviously, before.
Yeah.
We'll bring that back around.
I do feel sorry for her, though, I do. Charlie seemed to get something out of it. I don't really know if she did.
No, it's obviously more the kid's story, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's like, letting go, moving on with your life.
It's
kind
hard.
of thing. That's what they're trying to go for, but
it does make you have the feels. It does. I don't know if it's just because I'm really excited for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it did have that Christmas morally meaning film side to it.
What's that then?
I think it's one of those kind of live life to the moment kind of thing. Don't take everything you've got for granted.
That's not necessarily a Christmas theme,
no,
though,
but
that's just a life.
That's
thing.
what I mean. Normally in a Christmas film, you have this life lesson.
Be nice to others, or like this at this time of year. It doesn't matter about every time of year.
It should be every.
Yeah,
it should
I know,
be like that all the time.
Yeah, it's easy said.
But at least if you can have it once a year, then it's better than none.
Yeah, it's obviously like the onset grief of the you're trying to. When he's been talking to Snowman this whole time, it's kind of like, oh, that's just because of the fact that he's trying to cope with the fact that his dad's no longer around, and then he's got this brief moment with him just to connect with him and say his piece, but then it's taken away again anyway, so it's like, oh, that's
bittersweet. And he worked his ass off to get him up to the mountains, and then
it's like, see you later.
Yeah,
I must go now. So I don't know, didn't seem meant to be a touching moment at the end with all the music and everything. All this is really sad, but I don't think really
it did
comes
touch me. Not like kind of some other films do, but it did tear-jerk me.
It did. Like I'm stuck there, cold as ice. Like, yeah.
You always are.
No, that's not true. Up, Coco, those films.
Anything animated? Can we pick something that's a real life action film?
Even the end of Forrest Gump. Even though that's a bit long-winded, but
What
that
about
film's...
It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh yeah, that one is that does get me at the end.
Okay, you've got a heart.
Yeah.
That's fine. At least I'm not
I
marrying a
don't-
robot.
No. I know Mark from 100 Things pod. He's like, well, that's his favourite film. And
Well, yeah,
Right, so-
credit to him.
yeah.
It's a brilliant film. I think I'm an old woman trapped in a young, well, middle-aged. No, I'm not middle-aged. Late 20s. There we go.
God, so specific.
Body. Because like Singing in the Rain is my favourite film. It's a Wonderful Life is starting to become... It's not the best Christmas film of mine, because obviously we're going to be reviewing that. But it's up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like older films.
Something about them, isn't there? Definitely. It's all
Compared
amazing,
to
so
this
great.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. This, I wouldn't deem this as like a... No one's really talking about this as their favourite Christmas film. Or film in general, really. Not that.
So let's review it.
Like I say, it was going to be something completely different anyway, but I thought, well, get your opinion on something that's kind of like a family-friendly film that you hadn't seen before.
I don't hate it.
Which I'm really surprised that you hadn't seen
I
it.
don't know why I haven't seen it.
You didn't hate it?
I didn't hate it, no. Didn't love it either.
Okay.
I feel like...
That kind of makes me feel a bit better anyway, in the sense of like, I didn't know how you were going to be like wrapped in it or anything like that, like really enjoying it as such, but...
I enjoyed it for what it was.
But it's not something, I don't feel like it's something you rush back to every year type of thing.
It's not like a Home Alone or A Wonderful Life or like a Grinch.
Yeah.
And I don't have that nostalgia to it. So like, for example...
I don't.
It's probably rubbish, but like, you know, the Santa Claus with Tim Shulman Taylor. Yeah. That to me, is a brilliant film, and it's because I grew up watching it as a little child.
Yeah.
So it's so magical for me to watch that film.
Okay.
Because I still remember my little child thinking there was a little elf girl that brought him cocoa. And I wanted to be that elf girl bringing Santa cocoa. So
I haven't seen this, so I don't know.
But I think now probably watching that, I can imagine
the bee things.
Yeah, so I'm a bit reluctant to watch it because, like, are you going to spoil it for me? Like, you have done everything that I like.
Sorry,
the
tastes change. This is part of growing up as well.
I want to grow up.
Yeah, there's certain things I look back on and go, oh, yeah, this is not as...
Like Jurassic Parks.
No, that'll never not be good. Sorry.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah. It's generally more the very more kid-oriented ones. You go like, oof. Yeah, which I suppose is what this is supposed to be, but it still doesn't...
It's like that one, Driving Home for Christmas or whatever it is.
I'll be
home for Christmas. Yeah. It's kind of got that American humour to it. And I think Santa Claus has that.
Okay. The only thing I know about the Santa Claus film is I think it was on like a videotape or something where obviously like a trailer for it. All I know is that Tim Allen shouts at someone on the roof and goes, "Oh, you!" and he falls off and he dies or something. Is that right? Santa's dead.
Yeah,
and then he takes over
Santa.
So that's great, isn't it? For a kid?
That's how, if you want to become Santa,
you have to kill him off.
You have to shout him off your roof, and then he'll die, and then you can become the new Santa. But it's not like he kind of is dead on the floor. You see this kind of body, and then he just vanishes, and the suit's left. So it's not like gruesome. He just vanishes.
Vanishes, just like this.
No, you don't even see that. You just see the suit just kind of being blown up as a person, and then just flattening.
Oh gosh!
Just looks like
deflated.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, maybe some point we're to see and
maybe squeeze it in.
Yeah, over this Christmas period. But I think now we'll go to the scoring of this film anyway.
Okay. So, okay, got it. I'm trying to be fair because it's been a while. Obviously, we've had a little break.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what. Obviously, it was Whiplash, which is like I think I did that an 8.
Mm-hmm.
So this is clearly not going to be an 8.
Yeah. Knock you back. If it was, I'm like, oh, no way.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm not attached to it. I wouldn't be every year, let's watch it again. I even feel like Last Christmas, I'd prefer to watch that over this.
I think that's got a bit more rewatchable value because it's like you're picking up on the fact of how that ends. And
yeah.
Go and listen to that episode.
Really plugging all of these ones out. And I wonder why you're doing this. We'll get to that soon.
Yeah.
So I feel it's one of those things where you've watched it, you've seen it. There's not going to be anything extra for me to gain out of it. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of a life lesson. Basically, hopefully, everyone has a dad that's not like this person because
not a snowman.
Yeah, it's just he's a pain in the ass for dad, and he just seems a bit selfish. Really, he doesn't care about anyone else. And that kind of grates on me, and then it's like, oh, now you want to be a dad as a snowman, and it's like, well, you could have been a dad for a while.
Yeah.
So, I feel the reason why I'm going to score it the way I'm going to score it is obviously it's the puppetry side of it. So the way that they do certain parts of the snowman.
The live action close-up shots, yeah.
That are brilliant. And I'm like, oh, how do they do that? And that was interesting to know and figure out.
Yeah.
And obviously credit to them for putting a bit of puppetry within the film.
Yeah.
We know we love that.
To Jim Henson's Creature Shop, yeah.
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 So I don't think I can score it any higher than a 6.
So it's going to be a 6? Or is it going to be lower than...
No, it's going to be a 6.
Okay.
I think that's nice. I think that's like a middle for diddle. And I think that's how I feel. It's like a...
Well, 7's normally a middle for diddle, but...
I couldn't do a 7 because it's too close to the 8 for the whiplash.
No. I mean, I think that's a bit too high for me, to be honest, but it's your first time watching it, and I guess
it did make me feel something.
So I guess I'll give you that, even though it's
Jim Henson puppetry. So I did have a single tear, and that's what you want
in a yeah.
And that's what you want from a film, a Christmas film. You want a tearjerker. They always are.
No, I think you can have Christmas
films.
Name
one that doesn't make you want to cry.
The Grinch?
Oh, no, of course it does. Cinderloo Who wants to bring him back, and his heart grows 2 sizes. And no, you don't know what you're on about. Anyways, what's your score?
Okay. I feel like the puppetry is one of the strong points about it. Really does look a bit awkward at times, even with that. Like I say, it's not the most friendliest looking snowman, but I guess you want a sense of realism to it in a sense. You don't want it like too cartoon book-eyed or anything like that. It look a bit silly. The CGI didn't do any favours, so that's the big letdown really with the model. When I obviously said when I've seen it back a couple of times back when I was younger,
did not make you cry then?
No, didn't really touch me in that way or anything like that. I wouldn't say it was stuff went over my head or anything like that, but it didn't really have an impact on me, so it's not even a nostalgia thing for me there.
Did it have an impact on you this time?
Only that one moment, like I say, when the song Landslide was playing, when he was making the new snowman.
Yeah.
Of his dad after the aftermath of all that. So that was kind of like, that's kind of touching. I wasn't like crying or anything, but I just like the song, and it's kind of like a sad song anyway. It's kind of like kind of reflects the situation. So I'll give him credit for that, really. But everything else was a bit like...
it's predictable, isn't it?
Yeah, so predictable. And the beginning was like, oh my God, just get to this. No, you don't need all this. Bit at the beginning, it's dragging on. I'd rather, I don't know, been something where...
He just got to the snowman quicker?
Yeah, or something like that, like his dad's already passed or something, but then I guess I wouldn't explain the whole, my dad wasn't around type of thing, or those situations. I guess you got to have that, but you could tidy that up a little bit at the beginning, I suppose. Make it a bit, more concise and stuff like that. And just the way that they acted with one another is a bit meh. Okay, overall, really. But it's serviceable as a film. It's not one that's jumps out to me like when I think of Christmas films. This isn't one that really springs to mind. But give it a 4.5.
Really?
The 0.5 is more the puppetry, really. So that's what tells you something about it, really.
Oh dear, that's quite low for you. That is. You come really nasty around Christmas. And you score everything so low.
That's not true. I gave Noel a 4.
See? Scoring low.
But I gave Last Christmas a 6.
Still.
So.
And then, yes, okay, you gave Love Actually a 10, but, that's by the by.
Yeah, but there's a lot more to get from that, isn't there? There's a lot more quotable lines or characters to get attached to, really. There's nothing attached other characters other than the snowman when he's a snowman.
I just don't think you're very Christmassy, Mr. Parks. I'm Mrs. Christmas, and if I'm going to marry you, I need to marry Santa Claus. So you're going to have to start getting a belly, and you're going to have to start feeling Christmassy. Okay?
Getting white hair, yeah.
That's already happening, dear.
No, it isn't.
It is for me. I love how he didn't deny it.
Were you the one who pointed them out to me every time? But you're not really.
Just going
I think you just
silver fox.
Yes. Yeah.
So, on that note, of his first Christmas
of 2021.
Don't know. I feel like I'm behind this year with Christmas. Everyone else has put the tree up before me, which I'm normally like, right, Christmas is here. And I feel like, because obviously we had a Christmas last year.
Yeah.
They was still there. Christmas does come, no matter what.
Yep.
But I feel like everyone's like, oh, we missed out.
So, weeks and weeks before December 1st comes around, some people have already taken pictures and stuff, but we've got our stuff up now, so you're feeling a bit more festive now, aren't you?
I am, and I even was delayed in buying presents. So I've started buying presents, even though Paul's like, DVD, Blu-ray, Blu-ray.
No DVDs in this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No DVDs. I'm getting slapped.
Not getting this quality anymore. You know our standards, You've mentioned it yourself.
Oh, dear. So, on that note, we are doing something really, really special on the lead up to Christmas. And if you haven't already seen or heard or noticed...
Hope you have.
Hopefully you have, because we really, really tried to put a heartfelt kind of little... Can you say, commercial? I don't know,
I'd say more call to action for everybody
I like that, Paul. Call to action.
CTA.
That's very, very office vibes.
Or public service announcement. I don't know, one of those two, but... We're reaching our 100th episode, and in the lead up to that, we're wanting to hopefully, with your help, get to 10,000 downloads by the end of the year. And for reaching that goal, helping us reach that goal, we will be donating £100 to the Alzheimer's Society on top of what we've already previously donated to them.
So obviously, just to give you a little bit more background on why we're doing this. So the Alzheimer's Society is basically, it's quite dear to both of us. We've had grandparents that have suffered with this, so we know how it can impact a household, a family, how devastating it can be when somebody you really love forgets who you are. It's become even more challenging, obviously, with pandemic and everything like that, and just people struggling really to fundraise as well. So normally you could do a cake off, you could do, I don't know, like Macmillan do the coffee mornings and stuff like that, where people haven't been together as much to be able to raise money. And also we're in really hard times financially because everything's just been put on a hold, that these kind of things have been neglected a little bit. So me and Paul have really dug deep to figure out which charity we really wanted to give to.
And this one just kind of made the most sense, really.
It means so much to us and our loved ones as well.
Yeah.
So if we get to 10,000 downloads, which I feel like it is achievable, it's not an unrealistic goal that we're setting ourselves.
No, we're about, 8,000, maybe 300 or something like that now. So
is that, when did you last check that?
I haven't checked over the past couple of days, but I'm sure
so
it's
you never know. Might be gone up.
Hopefully we have, because obviously I've been plugging the past couple of days or just last week. But so obviously we can get that to that goal of 10,000, then we will be donating some more money to the cause, and and hopefully from sharing around with other people, and getting other people just interested in our show as well. It helps benefits us as well, and gets us out there and everything like that. So
it's a little Christmas miracle for the Alzheimer's Society, and maybe for us, for people to actually get some new listeners. Because in 2022, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling. I won't say the other words, and then we'll be all right, I think. Basically, we're wanting to revamp a little bit, aren't we? We're wanting to kind of branch out, do more exciting things, and I feel like that's going to gain more listeners.
Yeah, mix the formula up a little bit with how we're doing the episodes.
So it's all films Sophie's watched and Paul hasn't watched.
Something like that, yeah. But anyway, more to come on that in the coming weeks, I suppose. And
into the new year.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But enough about New Year, we're still Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas.
So please do go and check out all our other episodes.
So definitely go and check out our Christmas ones as well. So we've got loads from 2020, and they are Noel, Last Christmas, Tokyo Godfather, which, oh my goodness, it is a Japanese, would you class it anime?
Yes, it is anime.
It just doesn't look anime as in pretty anime.
Yeah, not your traditional like Ghibli anime, yeah.
It's more gritty, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then
Love Actually.
I was trying to think, oh God, what had I said? I was either thinking I hadn't said Last Christmas or Love Actually, and I was like, So the Love Actually one, I love that one. I think that's one of our favourites.
All-time favourites, yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed reviewing it with you.
Mm-hmm.
So go and listen to those. If you want to listen to any others, you can. Definitely.
Highly recommend you do.
And also, we had a breakthrough today. We watched Die Hard 2, and I can confirm, I now think Die Hard 2 is a Christmas film. However, Die Hard 1 is not.
I don't get that at all, really.
Because
it still takes place on Christmas Eve.
There's more Christmassy vibes in that one, I swear.
I think that's just because it was
snowing. It had Christmas music. There was Christmas lights. There was Christmas trees. It just felt more Christmassy. I feel like they thought, oh my God, people think Die Hard 1 is a Christmas film. Right, let's actually give them a Christmas film with Die Hard 2. I feel like that's what they thought.
I don't think that's what they were really going for back all the way back then.
They did. No. So did. They were like, oh, you want Christmas? We'll give you it.
But be sure to check out those episodes. We haven't got covered Die Hard, but yet. But all our previous episodes on wherever you get your podcasts from. That'll be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Good Pods is another one that's new, and that's one that's good for getting up the ranks, really, popularity. And things like Podchaser and Apple Podcasts are where you can leave nice reviews about our podcast, which again helps us out immensely.
And it makes us so happy, and it's Christmas, and we need to feel fuzzy inside.
We do. To know that we're doing a good job, which I hope we are.
I know I am. No, Paul does really does the hard work.
Yeah.
And that's, yet again, why I always say buy Paul a coffee and not myself, because I get the fun part of talking to, hopefully, my soon-to-be husband in 2022 about films for an hour. So how can I complain? Whereas you have to actually do the slog.
I do enjoy talking about films with you, so it's really nice.
It is. It's really enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah. And lastly, just to follow us on social media is another way to interact with us, and any suggestions for the future, if you've got any. And that'll be on Instagram and Twitter, mostly, under the handle SP_filmviewers. Anything else to add, Sophie, before we wrap up?
Leave us lovely, nice comments and talk to us.
Yep.
And help us achieve our goal so that we can actually lovingly donate, which we really want to do as well, to the Alzheimer's Society. So any support and getting us pushed that through, would be much appreciated.
So thank you in advance, everybody.
Yeah.
And we will see you for another Christmas-themed episode next time.
Woo! See you next time for some more Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.